Hello, my name is Alvin Moore, Master Numerologist, and I would like to continue my series on exit points, sometimes referred to as transitional numbers. An exit point is when a soul leaves the body, the day, the month, the year, and the age that a soul leaves the body. In numerology, there are 9 numbers. Every compound number must be reduced down to one of these 9 digits. We do not recognize the number 0 or the digit 0 in numerology. Each number has a positive aspect and a challenging aspect. But we also group numbers by their by their vibrational frequency. Some numbers are grouped together because of their vibration to be of service, and then other numbers are grouped together to be of service to the outer world, the more masculine professions. There requires a lot more external type of energy, a lot more assertiveness, a lot more force, a lot more strong will in order to get the job done. Today I'm going to take a look at Margaret Thatcher's transitional numbers. And as we proceed in the analysis, you're going to recognize a strong group of numbers that she was working with, enabling her to do what she had to do. Okay, so let's get started. Margaret Thatcher was given the name the Iron Lady by a Soviet journalist, a nickname that became associated with her uncompromising politics and leadership style. Margaret Thatcher was a British politician who was the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom from 1979 until 1990. And she was the leader of the Conservative Party from 1975 to 1990. She was the longest serving British Prime Minister of the 20th century and is the only woman to have held that office. I'll say that again. The only woman. So you know what that meant. She was dealing with men, lots of men, one energies. Margaret Thatcher made her transition on April the 8th, 2013. Her first core number, 4, because April is the 4th month, laid down a firm and solid foundation, a very firm and solid platform. A lady who took her job very serious and came prepared to work with a great sense of dignity, very hard worker, great strategies, very dependable, and punctual. The 4 energy builds foundations, but at the same time, they tear down old, useless ideologies that's no longer needed. The 4 energy sometimes can become so rigid, so uncompromising, that a wall is built around it, a heaviness. The 4 energy must learn to lighten up. Margaret Thatcher had to hang tough. She was dealing with strong male number 1 energies. Now she left her body on the 8th, and the 8th energy, like the 4 energy, is a very strong and outward vibration. It's not a timid energy. It's a very dynamic energy, a very forceful energy, a very I can do type of vibrational energy. And it works very well with the number 4 energy. So that that 4 and that 8 are very strong outward masculine energy that carries a tremendous amount of power and weight and authority, and they have the resources to get the job done. So the 8 energy is like the 4. It's very strong. It's an outward vibration. It's a gatherer of resources. The number 8 energy has a keen sense for taking care of business. The number is pure, just like the number 4, which means that there weren't no conflicting aspects to the 4 or the 8. The 4 energy did not have any other aspects that modified its behavior, like a 1 and a 3 makes a 4. But that 4 energy in its behavior patterns and the personality pattern will reflect a 1 influence and a 3 influence. And not so with the number 4 because it's pure, and not so with the number 8 because it's pure. So there's really no compromising on that 4th and that 8th level. So there are no sub-elements to modify the personality and behavior of the energy. But the energy that was sitting between the 4 and the 8 is a 3 energy, because 4 plus 8 is 12, reduced down to the number 3. Now the 3 energy is a very joyful energy, is a very expressive energy, is a very articulate energy. So you need a strong voice in order to execute your objective. You cannot be timid. You have to be able to stand and speak clearly, precisely, with determination. You have to know what you want, and you have to be able to explain it. And you have to be able to argue the points and counter-argue other people's objectives. So that's why that 3 was there, to give that 4 and that 8 a strong voice. So, when you're in a position of power and authority, it's important to be able to convey your message with precision, clarity, and self-assurance. Now, Margaret Thatcher's subcore consisted of 3 sub-elements, the 2, the 1, and the 3. Which, when added together, created the 3rd subcore of the number 6. Now, this last subcore is trying to balance out the first 2 subcores of the hard energies of the 4 and the 8. So you notice the 2 energy. The 2 energy is very soft, it's very compassionate, it's very lenient, it's very cooperative, it's a group player, it's a team player. So the first subcore, number 2, is attempting to bring some softness and ease to the tension that's brought about by the very powerful first 2 subcores, which is number 4 and 8. If you got too much firmness, it's not a good thing. You have to learn to yield. The power is in the ability to stand strong, but then at the same time knowing when to work with others. So one must learn to yield and compromise. But the 3rd sub-element is the number 1, which is going to weaken the objective of the 1st sub-element of the number 2, because the 1 stands opposite of the number 2. The 1 energy stands strong, stand up, stands firm. I can do it. Get out of my way. Nothing's going to stop me. The 2 energies say, well, listen, can we talk about it? Can we compromise? When that 1 energy pops up, it gives fuel and power to the 4 and the 8, because the 1 and the 4 and the 8 as a group of numbers, are here to take care of the tough jobs that need to be taken care of in the physical world. And so that 2 energy, though, is trying to insert some type of tenderness, saying that, listen, you don't have to be so hard. You don't have to be so strong. Ease up. Let other people help you. But the 1 energy stands in harmony with the 4 and the 8. And the number 2 can't bend the strong and powerful disciplined energies of the 4, the 8, and the 1. Now, the 4th sub-element of the 3 is trying to bring forth more creativity, more joy, more lightheartedness, because the 3 energy is an energy of lightheartedness, of joy, of exuberance, of creativity and artistry, as well as vocal power, great oral skills. So the 3 energy is trying to bring more creativity, joy, and lightheartedness to the masculine numbers of the 1, the 4, and the 8. Now, the number 3 combined with the number that sits between the first core element and the second core elements, which is the 3 energy. The 3 energy sits between the 4 and the 8, which makes the 12 and the 3. When this third sub-element from the year of her departure combined with that 3, you create another soft energy, which is the mother energy, the energy of the number 6. 3 plus 3 is 6. So in order to balance the outward demands of being a politician, relief has to come from the softer vibration. So relief has to come from someone that's in your corner on a romantic level, your children, your grandchildren. You need that outlet when you're dealing with such a strong group of numbers like 4, 1s, and 8s. You need that softness to balance it out, or that 4 and that 1 and that 8 would just, if you don't have the strength to hold up under that energy, it can literally collapse you. And so the 6 energies and the 2 energies are there to try to soften up the power that's being emitting from that strong dynamic force of 4s, 1s, and 8s. So in order to balance the hard masculine numbers of 1, 4, and 8, motherhood, romance, children was the appropriate outlet. Now, even though the soft numbers of her first sub-element of the number 2 and the joyful number 3 and the mother energy of the number 6 asserted their influences, the strong number 4 that sits between the third sub-element, which is 1, and the fourth sub-element, which is 3, comes back to yet another 4, which is going to reinforce those previous 1s, 4s, and 8s that I've spoken of. And so therefore their influences, even though it's there, it's being felt, it's going to be weakened because of that additional 4 energy. Now, when all 3 of the sub-elements from the year of her departure are added together, the mother energy number 6 come into being, because if you add the 2 and the 1 and the 3, the 6 energy comes back, and once again is trying to insert an additional shot of softness and compassion to the hardcore 4, 8, and 1. But when you add all the sub-elements are added together, and all the sub-cores are added together, for example, if you add the 4 energy together, the 8 energy together, and the 1 energy together, you're going to get the when all the sub-elements are added together, the number 4 from the first core, the number 8 from the second sub-core, with the 3 sub-elements from the departure year 2013, the compound number 2025 come together. So the double 2s create a soft platform of the number 4, so the 4 is still exerting its strength and its power. Even those double 2s are there to trying to soften the platform somewhat. That additional 4 is going to like overrule those two energies. So the double twos creates a soft platform, which is the number 4, and then the number 5 is trying to inject some fun and levity into the mix. And when you add all those energies together, you're going to get the major core, the number 9. So in the outer world of politics, Margaret she had to display her toughness in the outer world. But within, she had a strong stream of love and compassion that was flowing, which is the non-vibrational energy. So when she was in Parliament, when she was dealing with all that strong one energies, she had to be the Iron Lady. She had to, rule with an iron fist. But once she stepped away from that arena, a lot of love and compassion was flowing through her. She had a lot of feelings and sensitivity and caring, and she did what she had to do, not out of a sense of arrogance, but out of a sense of compassion and power for the people that she was serving. Now, Margaret left her body at the age 87, and here we go with the 8 energy. Her first subcore age, number 8, attests to the fact that she was strong, successful, and a fighter. But her second subcore, number of 7, meant that her outer strength was coming from her inner faith. And when both the sub-age cores are added together, you get the compound number 15 reduced down to the number 6. So she left at the age core of the number 6, which meant that what was truly valuable to her was not so much the political arena, but her being a wife, a mother, her children, the compassion that she had for her society, the things that she did was not out of self-interest, selfishness, but for the betterment of humanity because of her strong 9 energy and her very strong 6 energy. So in her heart, she was a soft, loving, generous soul who had to hang tough because she had the courage to step into a man's world. So I'm going to pause this video and I'm going to pick up my analysis on part 2, which I'm going to show you visually. I'm going to show you a quick glance of her birth cycles, which is her entry points, and contrast it with her transitional points. And you're going to be able to see just how strong and dynamic her 1s and her 4s and her 8s influenced her personality and her behavior in her last incarnation. See you in part 2.